We have Backstage Bray Wyatt news following his Extreme Rules 2022 return, plus our first look at the WrestleMania 40 logo, and an ex-WWE star is believed to be heading to AEW. He's got the whole world in his hands. He flipping well has as well, isn't he?
He bloody does. He's got everybody talking. Bray Wyatt finally making his return to WWE at Extreme Rules 2022. It's a hell of a pay-per-view. What happened at is on the channel right now if you want to know everything that went down. But all that anybody's talking about following a great night of professional wrestling is the return of Bray Wyatt.
Absolutely. Now, it was the build-up to this has been phenomenal. It absolutely has. It's been some of my favorite creative from WWE in quite some time. Just the way, just how cerebral it was and how engaging it was. And they played it right till the end. There were white rabbits. There were guys in white rabbit costumes around the arena all the night beforehand. PW Insider said that people were being handed puzzles and white rabbit masks as well in the build up to this as well. They layered it on thin. They lacquered it on for the final stretch. And we have a few more details from Fightful Select about this. Now, before we saw him come through the spooky door, Fightful Select say that those who they have spoken to about the return, the White Rabbit payoff, quote, stepped off the gas about the reveal coming at Extreme Rules. Instead, the show could feature one of the reveals. Now, Fightful say they're unclear as to what that meant, but looking at what we saw, which was all the Firefly Funhouse characters come to life. Ramblin' Rabbit, Huskus the Pig Boy, Abby the Witch, the Fiend himself, and the Firefly Funhouse all worn down and overgrown, and cobwebs covered, the new mask. I don't know what more there is to reveal.
It feels like maybe plans changed again, that maybe they were going to give some sort of hint last night and then they just threw everything at it. There are still unanswered questions. We don't know if these Firefly Funhouse characters come to life are going to be like part of Bray's stable, for example. Is he going to be a stable? Are those going to be wrestlers? Are there real wrestlers under those masks? Who is he going to target? There's a lot that we still don't know, but we do know, importantly, that Bray is back. We saw Bray tonight.
A lot of people talk about this number 6, the Wyatt 6 that was suggested, and so it's like Huskus, Ramblin' Rabbit, Abby the Witch,
Mercy,
the Fiend, Mercy the Buzzard, Bray Wyatt.
The 6.
There's your 6.
Yeah, it could be a new sort of a Wyatt family 2.0, perhaps, with the Wyatt 6-ish, maybe? I don't know. We'll have to. You know what? I'm going to be watching Raw live. There's no way I'm missing it now.
I think we have to watch Raw live, don't we? We mentioned the other day in the news as well. I think it's worth repeating that a lot of this creative has come obviously from Bray Wyatt, but also from Rob Fee, who is the director of long-time creative. He's somebody that's been put into this position now to guide the company long term. He, as we said the other day, was somebody that pitched a Bray Wyatt movie.
Absolutely, close ties. He was a big fan of the Fiend character, and it's believed that he's been involved in a lot of the creative leading up to Bray Wyatt's return here, which to me suggests that he's a very, very talented individual. I mean, he's got a hell of a resume anyway. He's done an awful lot, both mostly away from wrestling. So I'm very excited about this role existing full stop, because it's been one of the biggest criticisms of WWE is a lack of continuity at points, and a lot of long-term storytelling hasn't quite hit the mark. The fact that they've now got somebody heading that up, overseeing things in that regard, I think is very exciting news indeed.
I think this is a really exciting step for WWE to do. In the hullabaloo and in the excitement of tonight's show, Bray Wyatt was trending, and Wyndham Rotunda used that trending power for some real good, didn't he?
He certainly did. He took to Twitter. One of the most important things you can do on this earth is to let people know that they are not alone. This is a horrible tragedy that occurred to a good man and his beautiful family. He would do it for you, sharing a link of the fundraiser that's been organised by Bull James on behalf of the late Sarah Lee and her husband, Corey Weston, obviously known previously as Wesley Blake.
So you will have seen that, no doubt, being shared around a lot tonight, which is more than deserved. Sarah Lee's tragic death, very much a dark day in wrestling.
What a cool thing to do.
What a great thing to do.
Everybody's talking about him, right? And he goes totally out of character just as a human being and helps a cause which is very close to his heart, clearly, but a great tragedy. And just what an awesome thing to do. What a nice bloke, eh?
Absolutely. I look forward to seeing what happens with the Bray Wyatt character next as we come out of Extreme Rules. In other news, ta-da! There's the WrestleMania logo.
Oh, isn't it pretty? I really like it. It feels grand. It feels really grand. So fans in attendance got a first look at this. They didn't actually show it if you were watching at home, but images have been circulating on Twitter with John Alba saying, first look at the WrestleMania 40, WrestleMania XL logo for Mania in Philadelphia at the Lincoln Financial Field. And you know what? I think it looks nice. I don't want to sit here for too long.
Nice, looks classy.
Pick apart a logo, but it looks great.
Liberty Bell in there. I think it's a nice little logo. Back to Extreme Rules. There was a couple of changes to the main event and the match order throughout the night, and we speculated on this quite a bit in the build-up to the show, because it was one of those cards where you had so many matches that could feasibly go on last. There wasn't an obvious main event here. Fightful Select saying before the show started that there were several changes to the match that would main event. Both the ladder match and the fight pit were slated to main event at one point. Surprising, because I would have thought that maybe Ronda and Liv might have potentially been a forerunner for main event, or the I Quit match.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bizarre one in that you've got two world title matches on the show. You had Bianca defending and Liv defending, and neither of those were picked for the main event. Really, the main event was Bray, and that sat apart from everything else that we saw on the show. So you could have easily slotted in. It's not like he interfered in the fight pit match or anything like that. He wasn't involved. If your main event is basically Bray Wyatt, then you can stick anything on at the end. At the same time, Riddle and Rollins has a huge amount of interest in it. It's a very, very personal feud. A lot of people are invested. Big match feel as well, especially with the special guest ref and everything. So I don't think it was a bad shout. Was it the best match on the show? I'm not sure it was. I think it was really good. You know, my favourite match of the night was the bloody opener. Donnybrook. The Donnybrook match was class.
Was flipping good.
Put that on last.
Absolutely battered everybody there. It was wonderful. We'll end on some news of a former WWE star who seems to be AEW bound.
Yes.
What are we talking about, Adam?
We are talking about bloody Renee Paquette, obviously formerly known as Renee Young within WWE. Fightful Select heard from WWE sources who believe that Renee is heading to AEW, although obviously Renee and AEW are keeping things quiet right now. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. She's ridiculously talented. Her podcast is ridiculously good. Her husband is there. And then they've got the whole WWE Backstage crew pretty much all together. I saw, I can't remember who tweeted it. But it was an image, and it was like Punk, who might be there, might not, Paige, Christian, and then Renee's there. Last piece of the puzzle, eh?
Yeah, why not? Now you can do WWE Backstage for AEW. Maybe that was the plan all along.
There you go. He's a big fan of the show.
He is a big fan of WWE Backstage.
I'd love to see her there. I think she's so good at her job. She's really just like super endearing, very sweet and sincere in everything that she does, but actually just a fantastic broadcast journalist as well.
Yeah, if you listen to the sessions, you'll know like how great she is in these long form interviews as well. She's really good at those. Whether she'll get sort of the chance to do that sort of thing in AEW, I don't know. But I think if she's going to make a wrestling return in a full-time capacity, I think it would be with her husband, Jon Moxley.
Yeah, for sure. Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah, let's see where we go. We'll have more wrestling news throughout the day, and of course, check out what happened on the YouTube channel right now. And for the latest on the return of Bray flipping Wyatt, check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe and let me in.